I have never made as much profit in 48 hours as I have done now. And that's all because of exactly what I said in my video 2 days ago. I said, I'm buying something very specific that has done wonders. I can't even describe the results that I'm seeing right here. It is shocking. It is shocking, but I'm about to show you at least a little part of it. And I'm going to tell you guys a little bit more about my strategy for hopefully making a lot of freaking extra profit over the next couple of hours or next couple of days. Make sure you press that like button and let's dive right in. So the two most important things I want to show you today is, first of all, I started a little Aster bot here just in a copyable form, obviously at 3x because Aster is extremely volatile. But this is also the altcoin that has done me some crazy numbers. And what I mean with that is, well, I made a video 2 days ago talking about buying into this with some size, with the thesis of buying in at 47 cents or 44 cents, something like that, and selling at $2. I thought that was going to take a few months. It took about 1.5 days or so. Now, a good part of my bag has been sold, a little bit below $2, actually also a good chunk at 170. Why? Well, that was my original idea. And I mean, the amount of money I made here is actually quite ridiculous. But regardless, I opened up an Aster bot because the volatility now is actually insane. And I didn't know they had Aster listed already. But right now you can see I just opened it like 5 minutes ago here. The settings you can see right in front of you right there if you also wanted to copy along or is this something that you're interested in. And a second thing I'm going to be doing right now, I've set this for the past couple of days, right? By the way, I cleaned my screen. Hopefully that's okay. A second thing I told you I was going to do, which I need to do with more size, but hey, the point is here. I'm opening up, oh, I can still see some jig. I cleaned it just now, but it can be better. I opened a BNB coin margin bot. It's basically about 50 BNB or so that I opened up at 9.91. I think like, I don't know, it was just now. It's not too long ago. And as it currently stands, let's quickly take a little bit of a look. So BNB right now is at 1,061. So we're up roughly 3.3-ish BNB. And the nice thing is, since I'm holding a lot of BNB anyway, I don't really mind doing stuff like this, which doesn't really risk anything. All it's doing is making my 11 BNB, in this case, act as 46. So, you know, it just made things easier. I still have a lot of BNB in just their earn protocol. I just wanted to kind of try it out here because I actually never used Binance for anything. And I realized still why I don't. You know, I'm thinking about it. But if I look back now at my CoinBot stack here, and I look at the little bit of BNB I put in it, only 1.8, the amount of percentage gain that this could make over this same period is actually so much better if I just set my settings right. Because over the past 24 hours, it's made 400 transactions. And if I take a look at the movement, it's just been a slow but sure grind upwards. And if I think, right, if I just go for this all the way, I think over a longer period of time, this would actually generate me way more. And I could theoretically speaking do almost all the same stuff on here anyway. Like I could also open the coin margins here. I don't know why I'm not just using one platform for all this. And the main reason I talk about Ponyx a lot is because if we're looking at the majority of my positions, take a look at this right here. Like the profit mostly really comes from these, as a lot of my other positions, like the XRP trade and 𝗕𝗓𝗪𝗐, I don't really touch them too much. So even though they are in way more profit, this is $200,000 profit on the XP trade, since I'm not really touching it too much, I'm not really trading it too much, I'm just kind of letting it wait out. This is actually costing me a lot of money to keep open, whereas the other one overall actually makes me significantly more for just gritting it out. So I realized something there. So main plan for today, two things. One, I'm thinking of sending over some Aster and actually selling it and buying back in bot form. I think that might actually be a good idea with some low leverage because Aster is an interesting coin, right? But the volatility, these are volatility bots, so we make money on that. And by the way, if you want to copy along, the first link in the description, you can always check it out. That's where the links are at. And I also have like sheets for everything, so you can check out the description down below. But there's two more things. One is an XRP chart I found really interesting. And second of all, it's transfer over BNB and just go a bit harder on it because right now it seems like a little bit of a BNB rush is coming in. And as long as Aster doesn't have an astronomical crash, right now BNB is doing really well. 𝗕𝗓𝗄 also like Bitcoin related, but invested in by Easy Labs. And everything related to CZ, the co-founder of Binance, is in a really good spot. BNB memes are popping off. And in times like this, in a bull market, this is what I've been warning you guys about for a while. You have to be ready to pivot fast. So a few days ago, anybody who follows me along, which by the way, I'm not a financial advisor, I just show my moves, right? Anybody who followed along has now made a 4x at least on their Aster. As when I showed it in the video, I think it was like, maybe, I'm not sure if it was like 50 cents or 56, maybe 60 cents even. But let's just say as a minimum 3x, because right now it's at 170. When I showed it in the video, even though I bought it 47 cents, it could have not been more than 70 cents at maximum. So anybody could have at least doubled it. And that's the thing, right? To somebody, it can feel scary. Even to me, it did, because I bought very late. All of my friends are showing me millions of dollars of profit already at like my mark of 40 something cents. I'm just sitting there thinking, I should skip this. But then I realized there's another coin, 𝗕𝗓𝗄, which the Binance cartel, I'm calling it nowadays, they really push to just unimaginable heights. This product, Aster, is pretty garbage. If you used it, it's like, But you can actually, like now that I'm starting to use it more to kind of farm for an airdrop, I'm realizing you can actually short significant sizes, which is cool. And the reason behind that being, let's say you want to hedge or you have certain strategies. On a lot of exchanges, you can only short a certain amount. For example, $25,000 or $100,000. Whereas on Aster, you can short significant amounts. So if you want to hedge a position that's $1 million, you can do that, which obviously you might get paid for as well if the market, generally speaking, has been upwards. And right now, the funding is probably improportional. So you get a crazy amount of funding. Matter of fact, if you already had a crazy amount of Aster, you made a lot of money. Some people are now hedging it by shorting it just to generate like a ridiculous amount. I think it's now 0.3% funding every 8 hours, but it could actually be more than that. It's just probably quite ridiculous. So it might be like, you might get yourself like 30% in just a month just off of funding. Like right now, it is plus 0.31 every 8 hours. So 1% a freaking day is what you're getting right now. That is ridiculous. Regardless, so right now the focus is that. Add more to anything BNB related, because I think the risk it's a good risk to take to go with the flow right now of the Binance people, and the fact that this is now the most hyped up thing. The BNB chain, BNB ecosystem, this right now is number one. And you might say, oh, am I late? Am I late? I think a lot of people thought that for Aster too, at $1 or at 80 cents, and then $1, then $1.20, then $1.40, and now we just stacked to $2. I can never say, oh, go ahead and buy now, but you've seen me open up a new bot at these levels still, because, well, even though it could go down a significant bunch, the volatility will still be there, which we make money on. And second of all, it's relatively quite small. There's massive unlocks coming, sure, but I'm not really too worried about that, because Solana, every major crypto has that. And I'm mostly thinking if they want to compete with Hyperliquid right now as it stands, let me just quickly open this up on the side, is the 11th biggest crypto. Aster is like the 50th biggest. You know, again, it's not fully diluted, the supply. If you look at that, maybe it should be higher. But the whole core thesis there being that it's not that high in the rankings for it being such a massive push by CZ and the boys. So having said that, I'm focusing on BNB ecosystem. And there's an XRP chart I just quickly wanted to show you. I just touched the screen with my finger. Shouldn't do that. I know. And it's actually just this chart right here for XRP. So if you're not aware, this is just a normal as it can be XRP chart. But the main reason I wanted to bring it up right now is actually because I think a lot of people are now starting to underestimate the movements that it can make right here. But I want you to realize what happened in this past as well, right? This, of course, was the multiple year XRP breakout that finally led to an absolutely massive move in a very short amount of time. But I want you to realize that every single time XRP stalls up for a while, right? You can see how the price has been doing, stalling up, going down, converging, so to speak. It just spikes out with some pretty massive move. Right now, for the recent history here, all we've been doing is going sideways, basically doing nothing throughout the past couple of weeks. But I seriously think that once XRP starts breaking this trend again of slowly but surely going down, it is going to be a pretty aggressive move towards the upside again. And the funny thing is, markets like this, where generally speaking, everything is just exciting, everything is just bullish, and you might not see it in the numbers. But trust me when I say the market's optimism is really, really high because of Aster and because of related things like the BNB ecosystem here. Like Flare all of a sudden, I want to say World Liberty Finance all of a sudden doing some pretty interesting numbers. A lot of coins doing some very interesting numbers, even though the general consensus is Bitcoin's not doing anything, ETH not doing anything, the market's bad. No. It's just the sectors have shifted. And this you will also see in altcoin season, that a certain sector, right now, BNB ecosystem, just absolutely pop off. If you really start breaking it down, I don't even know the best way to view this. But right now, let's quickly take a little bit of a look on the opposite side. Here we go. Right now, so many people are just posting about, for example, Stable or a lot of different things right here and the crazy amount of gains they made or all these meme coins. Why? They're at the right time, right place. What I try to cover on the channel, these type of opportunities. Well, Aster, you could call it a lucky shot, but again, it's logical based on what happened previously. You see, hey, CZ is posting something, he never does, we buy it. Theoretically speaking, it might actually be worth it to set up a bot just to buy. If he ever mentions a coin, always buy it. You may say, Dusty, isn't that risky? Risk or reward outweighs the risk here, in my opinion. And this is something that I'm too lazy to do, but I should, because probably it's actually one of the ways to easily make a few $1,000,000 a year just by being early to whatever CZ, the co-founder of Binance, talks about. Because every single thing he does usually does pretty well. And even if it ends up being some sort of scam, you know, let's say you're right once and wrong 3 times. If you entered the first time with size, most likely the multiplier outweighs every single time you lose afterwards. And if you sell quick enough, I don't think you can even lose. My thoughts, right? Not financial advice. And yeah, just wanted to say, shift of ecosystem. I'm not sure how long this is going to be sustained for, but this proves another point that I always talk about in my videos of, you know, it's sectors, or I'm going to say, it's narratives for a certain amount of time. Right now, it's this BNB ecosystem, just like a few years, I guess last year was an AI system where all of a sudden AI coins were popping out for a while. However, I must add one more thing. This Aster situation proves that sometimes it can be a PvE type of environment, meaning everybody wins because there's infinite money being added to it. This is one of those coins where it's hard to lose, and it's not as if people are quote unquote dumping on you. It went to billions of dollars. FDV $14 billion with only straight candles upwards. It's only like a few days old. You can see this is the chart and how it's been. This will happen so many times. A lot of people are not used to this. They don't understand a freaking bull cycle, but this will happen many, many times where you think you're late and then it just keeps sending and sending, going from 8 cents to, in this case here, $2 in the span of like 3 or 4 days. You'll see a lot more of this, so stick around, you'll see, right? If you did miss this one, it will happen multiple times in the near future. It's just about being alert, being able to take some risks whenever an opportunity does arise. And yeah, that was about it. If you want the bot for Aster, link is gonna be in the description down below. What do you think about the XRP situation right now? I really think we're gearing up for something pretty massive. I've said the same for a couple of other coins like SOL, which again, the amount of purchases that are going to that make up for the risk you're taking. I'm just going a bit crazier than I usually do, but because the market is so nice right now, I don't really mind. But yeah, that's about it for my thoughts. See you guys again in another one.